Good evening. Today's webinar, Introduction to Investtech. Welcome everyone webinar. My name is Marius van Leeuwen. I'm working in Investtech. I've been doing this for almost 5 years and primarily working with the Swedish and Dutch market. And I will present this webinar today with my colleague Edvard Harto, who also shortly want to introduce himself.
Yeah, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edvard Harto. I will be the co-host today. In other words, I will be answering your questions in the GoToWebinar. I've been working here for 1 year now and been using Investtech for almost 5 years. So if you're ready now, Marius, you can just go ahead and start.
Thank you, Edvard, for your introduction. So if anyone during this webinar has some questions, you guys and girls cannot talk to us, but you can chat in this GoToWebinar. So I hope everyone can see this, but in this menu, there's this chat function. I already wrote something there. So if you have any questions, write to us and we will try to answer these if possible and if relevant to all the other attendees. Yes, we have a little agenda today. First, I will tell you about who we are and what we do. Then I will tell a little bit about technical analysis, the theory behind it, and our research, what we have done and what we are working on. And then, of course, I will show you our analysis program. Show you how you can use this in the best way to get most out of it and good results on the stock market. This webinar will take between 35 and 45 minutes. If you're not a customer yet and do not have access to our analysis yet, everyone who is joining us today can have a 2-week free trial. So after this webinar, you can send us an email if you like to join this offer. You can get a free 2-week trial to all markets and then explore our analysis and see if there's something you can use in your investment strategy. A little bit about ourselves. Investtech is actually a Norwegian company. We are sitting here in Oslo, enjoying the view from our office. It's still light out here, and Investtech is started in 1997 by our chief analyst, Leeuwen, and he was really curious about why some people are doing well on the stock market and others don't. And he really wanted to find a way how to get a system which can help you to beat the market and make money on the stock market. So as a mathematic he studied mathematics and statistics and computer science. So he built algorithms and did a lot of research to help him to pick the right stocks. And when he was doing all this research, he got even support from the Norwegian government, from the Research Council. And these results were so good that he developed a model which we're now selling to people around the world. And with our model portfolios and cases, we have shown that we have really good analysis, which helps a lot of customers around the world. This works that every day after the stock market closes, we get in the data from the markets, and our algorithms, they process some hours, and then we get an update in our system. We have stocks analysis in more than 12 markets, all the Scandinavian markets, Germany, UK, Germany, Holland, Belgium, and some other markets like the US, India, and also currency, cryptocurrency, and we have like how you call it, commodities. All our analyses are independent and objective because they're done by these algorithms. This means that we're not influenced by subjective influences, which gives you the best and most objective analysis to make your decisions. Investing on the stock market is all about strategies. It's really important to keep a certain strategy. Many investors use strategies based on fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis gives you security because you analyze the situation of a company, the financial situation, the possibilities of the market, the possibility of the specific sector, etc. That this gives you a kind of measurement on what a stock normally would cost now and in the future. Technical analysis, however, is measuring the psychology in the market, because even though the fundamental data in a certain stock or market is the same, stocks can still go up and down. And this is where technical analysis comes in and helps us and our customers to find the stocks that are in a rising trend and have the biggest possibility to go up within a certain period. So fundamental analysis gives you a good security, but technical analysis gives you the right timing. The four basic and important pillars in the theory of technical analysis, that is trends, support and resistance, formations, and volume. I will actually now go into our system. Before we used to have some slides on this, but we have developed our website in that way that we have actually a good explanation on this theory and also showing this research which we are doing. We still have a research department who are full-time working on research on these specific pillars, but also other elements which we can more call quantitative analysis. I now have to select this. I hope you guys see this now. Here you see 5 pillars of the theory and of technical analysis, and on which we have done a lot of research: trends, support and resistance, formations, volume, but also momentum and accuracy. Trends are the most important within the theory of technical analysis. And a trend shows you the direction a stock is moving. A stock is normally never going straight up or straight down, but because of the uncertainty in the market, a stock always goes like in a zigzag. So is a zigzag going up? We're talking about a rising trend. Is it more horizontal? It's a horizontal trend. And if it's going down, it's like a falling trend. So here you see a lot of explanation on trends, and the basic of the theory is that you should buy stocks that are in a rising trend. These trends can be identified in a short-term trend, a long-term trend, or medium-long-term trends. What's good with Investtech is that we do this work for you. Our algorithms go every day through the new data we get from the stock markets, and on average it goes through several thousand different trend options on the same stock and then finds the best trend. And it does this on short term, medium, long term, and long term. So in some cases, a a stock can be in a falling trend on short term, but at the same time in a rising trend on the long term. We have done a lot of research, as I said, and an example here has given us the outcome that stocks in a rising trend after 66 days had arrived 20%. In the same time of period, the reference index was only up 12.6%. So this gives us an excess of return of almost 7.5%. And this research is done over a long period of many stocks, and we have done this on many different stock markets. So this means that it's buying stocks which are indicated in a rising trends gives you a much better possibility that you will have a good result than buying stocks who are in a falling trend or horizontal trend. We also done research on stocks who are in a falling trend, and as you expect, they are doing much worse than the reference index. If you want to learn more about this, please go to our website and you can read about this. Then we have support and resistance. I have to speed it a little bit up. Support and resistance is also very important. Support is the level of a stock or the stock price where a stock normally has shown to turn down or up again. As you see here, a stock can go up, meets a resistance, go down again, then meets support, go up again, and this often happens again and again and again. Then sometimes it breaks through a resistance and then it meets a new resistance, and often then the old resistance level becomes a new support level. This is explained by psychology. If people buy a stock and the stock goes up here, and then it meets a point that the stock goes down, probably by news, fundamental news, or just small panic in the market, or people they want to sell because they think the stock is getting expensive, and the stock falls down. So if you bought the stock here and it's going down here, and the stock goes up again here, you think, okay, I don't want this to happen again. If it comes up to the same level, I sell, and then I'm on zero, no losses. So this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and this we can use in our strategy because this, you will see, happens over and over again. So you can use this in your benefit and buy stocks that are close to a support. And when a stock breaks through a resistance, this is a very good buying signal. Then we have price patterns. Those who knows a little bit about technical analysis, these are formations which are indicating a change of direction of a trend. Selling signals who indicate that a rising trend will turn into a more horizontal trend or falling trend, like head and shoulder, double top, or a rectangle formation with a downside breakthrough. Also, we have buying signals from inverted head and shoulder, double bottom, or a breakthrough upwards after rectangle formation. These are direction changing formations, which we also can use in our strategy, because also research we have done shows that buying and selling signals from this formation can indicate very positive signals. For example, the rectangle formation, we have done several researches. I don't go into detail, but we could say as a result of these researches that when a stock breaks through or out a rectangle formation, 2 out of 3 cases, the stock will go up until the end of the green arrow in our system. The green arrow is as long as the white of the formation. So 2 out of 3 cases is very good odds. And we also use this, of course, in our investment strategy and in our analysis. Then the last pillar I will show here is that of volume, because volume gives you, how you say this in English, volume is confirming or strengthening a certain buying signals. A stock that goes up on a high volume is a much more powerful signal than a stock that goes up on a lower volume. The same if a stock goes down on a high volume is a very strong selling signal, but a stock going down on lower volume might not be as dangerous. The same when a stock breaks through a resistance on high volume, is it a very strong signal, much stronger than it does on a lower volume. So the signals I discussed before can be confirmed, strengthened, or weakened by volume. I will show you in the program where you find all these indicators, of course. Well, this was very short, some theory and research. If you want to find more research reports, it all is to be found here. We have translated a lot into English, and there's a lot of interesting articles to find. Also, if you go to, let me see, other research, you find much more very interesting research reports. Yes. We go to home. For those who not have been logging in on investtech.com, maybe only have the app or not even that, you go to investtech.com and log in here with the username and password, and you choose the market you are interested in. And we now choose the US stock market. I can start to show you the Nasdaq. If we double click on the Nasdaq, we get a chart of the Nasdaq, and we see here that the medium-term chart. As I said before, we have the short-term, medium-term, and long-term analysis. Short-term means 1 to 6 weeks, medium-term 1 to 6 months, or long-term 1 to 6 quarters. So this is the medium-term chart. We can change this to short-term by clicking here, or long-term by clicking here. And here, if we look at the long-term chart, we see that the Nasdaq has been in a very nice long-term rising trend. There was this dip in the start of the end of 2018, start of 2019. And of course, the last weeks, months, we had this big dip, but it still was all within the rising trend. And so there are many investors who has used this by buying more stocks when it was close to the bottom of the rising trend. But of course, the panic was high, so not everyone had this guts to do this, and some even sold the stocks. But using technical analysis, this was actually still within the long-term rising trend, and long-term investors normally should have held their stocks and still are having a good portfolio at the moment. But at the short term, we see that the Nasdaq is become again in a rising trend after falling down. It's indicated here with the gray lines, and the medium long term, we see also a rising trend. Well, that's about the Nasdaq. I want to show an example of interesting stocks. You look for stocks by using symbol search. We, for example, want to look at Facebook. Here again, you have short-term, mid, long-term, and long-term, full history, overall analysis, etc. It's a lot here to show, and I will keep to the most important things. We go back to medium long-term, and we see here, like the Nasdaq, that Facebook is still in the medium long-term rising trend. And the green circle here is like important turning points. And we see here also that the Facebook was in a rectangle formation, indicated by the blue lines, which was when it was breaking down from this rectangle formation, we got this selling signal. And this was actually right. After that, the stock was going down until it met the turning point. Of course, this turning point came into the chart after, but we also see here this yellow, blue lines, that there was a small rectangle formation. When a breakthrough up, we got this buying signal, and the stock went up afterwards. And here a small double top formation with a small selling signal, and you see the length of the arrows indicate the potential of this signal. And in this case, it actually was quite well. The gray line, the gray, how you call it, field here is the volume. So every day we get this information about the volume. And vol bal means volume balance. Here to the right, we see 3 arrows, 2 green and 1 yellow. The first one is short term, medium and long term. Green arrow means positive volume balance, and that is, as I told you before, that we want to see the stock goes up on high volume, etc. Then we have RSI here, or RSI in English. Something maybe people don't find at once, but if we go to technical indicators, we can add and remove some indicators. If we click on moving average, we now get the moving average into the charts. Many investors use moving average in their investment strategy. For example, selling stocks when a stock falls through a 100 or 200 days average, and buy when it breaks through up. We have no research on this, but we still have this in our charts, so you can use it in your investment strategy. The green lines in the charts are, in this case, support levels. It's maybe not really easy for you to see at home, but there is 2 green stars on the 204, and the stars is showing the strength of the support level. 1 star is medium strong, 2 stars is strong, or 3 stars is very strong. And support and resistance is especially working quite well in a rising market. If we're scrolling down, we can see an explanation of the analysis on the medium term from May 22. Today we get the newest update on the stocks. All stocks get a score between -100 and +100. The closer to +100 with the score, the better the analysis, or the better the stock on this particular time frame, so medium term. We also give a specific recommendation, positive, negative, or hold. Or in other words, buy, strong buy, hold, etc. Also a risk, which has to do with the volatility of the stock and the liquidity. So in this case, the analysis has given us a score 96, which is very close to 100. So probably this is one of the best stocks at the moment in the US, at least from the big stocks. A score between 75 and 100 is strong buy. Everything above 25 is buy, and between 25 and minus 25 is hold, and everything lower than minus 25 is sell. If you go to overall analysis, you get in one view a quite good overview of this stock, showing the scores on short term 95, medium term score 96, and long term score 91. And then we have this overall analysis that combines the medium term and long term analysis and the short term to give one overall score. Because the best stocks, of course, are the scores are looking well on all the time frames. Then we have a lot of stock picking tools in the system because there are thousands of stocks. Instead of clicking and looking for stocks, we can go to the stock picking tools if you're looking for interesting cases. The easiest is the top 50. In the top 50, we have organized all the stocks and organize it with the score. The buy candidates, we have the stocks with the highest scores up. If you look for the sell candidates, it turns to the stocks with the lowest score. If we, for example, go to Walgreens Boots Alliance, you see here that they are on a falling trend on the short, medium, or long term, bad volume balance, etc. We can also change the table view to a chart, and then you can scroll down like this and get a better overview on the stocks and the charts. You can also change overall score to short term, medium term, or long term, which can gives you complete different list. Because some stocks looks very good on a short term, and though are very interesting for short-term investors or for those who want to get in a stock, but might look very bad on the long term. But this is then not relevant for those kind of investors. And of course, the opposite. If you're a long-term investor, it's less important with short-term. Although, if you want to get into a stock, the best is, of course, to get in also if it's both long, medium, long, or short-term positive to get most out of your investment. A more advanced top 50 is the stock selection. I changed charge back to, yes. Here. It gives a little bit better overview with table view. Stock selection, here you can give criteria to, or how it's better to say, a filter to look for specific stocks, to get a list of interesting stocks. If you push clear filters, we empty the filter. And we only have now a list of technical positive. If we change, we only want a list of stocks that at least have 75 as a score. We want them to be in a positive trend. We want at least 2 million in daily liquidity and a positive volume balance of higher than 30. Show stocks. and we get these 6 stocks. So this is a very nice tool to make an own list, or to get a nice overview of the interesting stocks. You can also look for specific buy signals by using signals. If you, for example, are looking for rectangle formation, we find here then a list with companies who showing a rectangle formation. Amazon, everyone knows this company. The 14th of April, they had this buying signal from a rectangle formation, and after this signal, actually the stock went up. So this is a very interesting tool, and you can look on the different buying signals. Of course, we can look on different pivot points, trend signals, statistics, the winners, last day losers, etc., etc. Not available in US, but in many European countries we have. I will go to Finland. I have seen there are many Finnish participants today. We have the, if you go to recommendations, we have this model portfolio, also available, for example, in Holland, Germany, Denmark, and several other countries. The model portfolio, which is an example portfolio where we have stocks. We do changes here once a week, and we have done this to give our customers an idea of what we would have done with using our analysis. The strategy here is that we pick stocks with a certain liquidity, so they're easy to buy and sell. So we don't have small stocks here, and we also want this portfolio to have the same risk level as the index. So we don't have stocks here with too high volatility. So in that way, it's the only fair way to compare how the portfolio is done to the index as a whole. And here you see the stocks in Finland we have at the moment in the model portfolio. And as we all know, the market has fallen this year. In Finland, the exchange is down 8%. Our portfolio is around 0. So that is, of course, a quite good result. Last week, portfolio up 6.7, and the Helsinki Stock Exchange 5.3. Also, last year we have done very well in Finland. And if you look at the results since the start in 2014, the portfolio after commission and traded on next close has been up 10.7% on average every single year, while actually the Helsinki stock market is down after 14 years. So these are very interesting and amazing results, which are very similar in the other markets. Of course, on the short term and with several stocks we take in, and we also miss out, but doing this over and over again in the right way, we show that using our analysis gives a much better return than investing in a index. The strategy here, as I said, we pick in stocks with a certain liquidity and not too high volatility, and who are at the moment when we take in positive or very positive on the short term, medium term, or long term. And in the countries we have inside trade, also very important to take this in consideration. And when we have taken the stocks in the portfolio, we mostly look at the medium and long term. Because it's not smart to change too often your portfolio, because there are quite big costs by changing stocks, not only transaction costs for the bank, but also during the day it's hard to get the best daily price, and you can lose some percentage there also. So experience is showing that as when you own the stock, it's most important to look that the stock is positive on the medium and long term, and as long as they are there, keep the stock. The biggest mistake private investors make, and we actually have written an article on this last week, is that selling stocks that are in a rising trend or doing well, selling too soon. Many of you think after 20 or 30% gain, now we have to sell because it's getting expensive, soon it will go down. But all research we have done is showing that stocks who has been gone up, coming into a rising trend, will continue to go up because investors are positive. That's why the stock has gone up, and this is often for a reason, and the stock will continue to go up. The same counts for stocks that has come into a falling trend. Investors want to get out, are selling for lower and lower prices just to get out. And this means there is something wrong. The stock might be overpriced. So it's also good then to get out. Of course, not with a small dip, but if a stock is become in a falling trend, all research shown that it's best to sell and use the money to buy back other stocks that has come in a rising trend and look technically positive. Yes. Is there something, Edvard? Is there something I might forgot to explain today to the customers? Yeah. Yes, Edvard said we have a really interesting rectangle formation at Spotify. So we go to Investtech. If I'm not wrong, Spotify is on Nasdaq. And if you go to Spotify technology, we see here also that we have some buy and sell signals from formations. The first one was a small rectangle formation here in July last year. This was a false signal, of course, as I said, 2 out of 3. So 1 out of 3 is a false signal. This happens. Then it's false. It went up, and here we got a selling signal from a head and shoulder, which actually was happening then. It went down, and now it breaks through from this long, big rectangle formation. So at the moment, it's not too late. It's still not up to the objective. The volume balance is looking very good. Also, the momentum in the RSI is quite good. And we have listed Spotify as positive with a score of 99 on the medium term. As I told you, 100 is the best. So this is out from our analysis, a very good case for investors for the medium long term. For those who not having the possibility to log in on our website, again, you can send us an email and I can give you, or we are giving you access by mail with a username and password, and you can log in on our website for free and check all the different markets. As you see here, we have the different markets. And I've seen there many today from Denmark, Finland, Holland and Germany, and also US and UK. So just send us an email and we will give you access to our system. And for those who want more information or who want a personal guidance for the system, please don't hesitate to contact us, because of course we can do this. We are located in Norway. So for those who are in our time zone, we can do this during the office hours. And for those who are living more far away, we will sort it out. Just contact us and we arrange this for you. Then I want to thank you for your participation today. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.